I now need to talk about how do we get the board's attention and how are we going to keep the board's attention. All right. Sorry, that's me. I'm not reading it, I'm just turning it off. Sorry about that. This thing here, how many of you have seen some of this before? Hands up. Who's seen it? A lot of you? Anybody? Okay. This thing here describes three things. The little kind of red bit on the edge there is emergency response. Okay? What happens in the first hour? Guys with hard hats and blue overalls and fire hoses and whatever it is, right? Business continuity is BC. That's the big kind of mustard colored thing. And crisis management there is the blue one, and it goes beyond business continuity. Crisis management is really talk and the talk. Talk and the talk, not the same as spinning. You talk the talk in crisis management when you got structures. Where do you get the structures from? Mostly from business continuity, right? The continuity of operations. There was a time in the past when we would have said, you know something, continuity of IT is not the same as continuity of business. That is no longer a valid statement. That is no longer a valid statement. The purpose of this diagram here is to get you to understand, you know, that probably represents, ladies and gentlemen, about 5 to 10 lever arch files back in your organizations, right? Lots of paperwork saying this is the threat, business impact analysis, this is what this fellow will do and that fellow will do and so forth and so on. And one of the ways that we find we can get real good traction with management and particularly with a non-executive director, the non-exec, is by saying, you know something, we can get that 5 or 10 pages down to 1 page. 1 page. Now, unfortunately, I forgot my 1-pager, but you wouldn't be able to see it in great detail anyway if I put it up in front of you here. And it says on one side of it, right, our principal scenarios are this, and you are going doing this in the first 3 hours, you're going doing this in the first 10 hours, and so forth and so on, for your principal scenarios. And no matter what happens, right, a person at the board level on the crisis management team can say, well, I'm not going to ring up Heather Duffy to find out what he's doing, because I know what he's doing. It says so here, right? And on the flip side of it, you have the little kind of, you know, wire diagram saying the decision-making process is the agenda for the first golden hour meeting, the first DDoS attack, whatever it is. What's the agenda for that meeting? All the contact details, because you're going to be at christenings, at football matches, all this type of stuff. And the bottom line is you want to get away from the blank bit of paper, right? Now, who loves this type of stuff? Primarily your CEO, because CEOs are kind of cunning type of people, right? They're cunning because they know, gee, you're right. If I can get the 5 or 10 lever arch files down to 1, everyone's on the same kind of hymn sheet. It should take no more than 2 or 3 months, but what happens? It can take a year. Why? The transparency, right? Things are bad enough when something abnormal, adverse happens, and there's not a cover in the 5 lever arch files. But the transparency this kind of stuff gives is very taxing on people. It is a critically important exercise.